If you can't really seem to get a higher rating and you're in a bit of a chess rut, then I really think this video is for you guys, because today I will be going over my personal 5 tips to improve your online rating. And this is basically all about my own experience about improving as a chess player. First tip for you guys is to simply stop playing bullet chess. And this is mostly for the people who are playing just bullet all the time. In my opinion, bullet isn't too good for improvement. You don't need to think long enough per move. Playing bullet chess will probably make you like a stronger bullet player, because you train stuff like mouse speed, like pre-move skills, and all these sorts of stuff. But generally speaking, bullet chess will not improve your game as much as longer time controls. What do I actually recommend you to play? I recommend you to play games mostly with increment. In my opinion, long games, long online games, and I'm talking about games that can take longer than 1 hour, they can be sometimes boring, they can take a lot of energy. So I think longer games are definitely necessary, and I will talk about longer games at the end of the video. But generally speaking, for training, I prefer intermediate time control. Long, blitz, and rapid with increment. Talking about on leeches, for example, 5 plus 3, 15 plus 10, and also 10 plus 5. I really think that these time controls are simply the best to improve. The time is not too short, the time is not too long, and because of the increment, the quality of the game will, generally speaking, also improve. You will play better and you will learn more in your game. My tip number 3 is to do a quick opening analysis right after the game you've played. So after the game you play, you can do 2 things. 1, you can do a very long analysis. And this is mostly for the longer games, but also for the games that are simply very interesting, is to do a really in-depth, long analysis of the game and really go through the whole game, especially the middle game. Look at plans, ideas, patterns that you might have missed actually in your game. Try to come up with new ideas in the analysis and really take your time in the analysis. Also, what you can do is, for example, make a study in leeches, and later you can again check the notes you made in leeches with either the engine or your coach. But generally speaking, if you simply play a normal blitz or rapid game, usually it's not necessary to analyze very thoroughly every single game you play. What you can also do, and this is really something that you should do, is simply do a 30-second post-game analysis very quickly of the opening you've just played. I mean at least 30 seconds, right? So something like 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, something like that. Simply a quick opening analysis. What you do is you put on the engine and you simply go to the point in the opening you went wrong. What you want to do is you want to check all the main moves in that position for both players, and in the end you should have an idea of how you can improve on the game you've played. You should be able to improve on your game, and this actually makes you a master of the opening you play in a very practical way. Okay, then a 4th tip I have for you guys is to set a total amount of games and puzzles that you should do every day. And this is pretty much for everyone. It doesn't really matter if you don't play enough chess or you play way too much chess. For example, if you don't play enough chess, it's really good to set a goal that you need to play X amount of games. You need to want to play like every single day. And that's pretty good because this makes you be consistent every single day. And consistency is very important when it comes down to chess and playing games and solving puzzles. But if you're playing way too much chess, it's better to set a limit, because you will be way more focused on the games you actually do get to play. The danger about playing just many games, let's say you play like 50, 100 games a day, that's just way too much. The problem with this is that most probably what's happening is simply you're addicted. Usually this is something that occurs a lot with bullet chess. That's also what I recommended to you. If you would just play way too much bullet chess, stop it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, what you think is good for you. Basically, if you play too many games, the games will be low in quality and you won't really be learning a lot of stuff. And the same can be said about the puzzles you solve. Myself, what I do is I solve 5 puzzles a day. I force myself to solve 5 puzzles every single day. I do it on chess.com, and basically what I do is I take as long as I need, but I need to solve 5 puzzles. Because I'm so concentrated on the puzzles, I'm somewhere now above the 2800 mark, and this is very nice because now the puzzles are for me really challenging, really difficult. I need to think really deeply in order to solve the puzzle. I'm able to really work on my calculation by really setting this goal of solving 5 puzzles every single day. In short, it's very important to be much more intentional with the games you play and the puzzles you solve. And then last but not least is to play 3 long tournaments online. So with long games, I mean something like 90 plus 30. If you get to play a game like that, that's pretty much optimal because that's also the time control that's used in real on-the-board tournament games. I'm pretty lucky because in my home country, Belgium, there are people who organize these sorts of events. And actually, it's just now that I finished a tournament. So I played over the last months, I've played a 90 plus 30 tournament, and I've played one game every Friday evening. It was very good training and very nice tournament. What I would recommend is to have a look in your own country if there are people who organize these sorts of tournaments, or there are communities in your country which you can join. But if you really have no clue where to start, maybe I would advise you to maybe start on chess.com. I believe they have lots of free online tournaments with long time control. Usually these are tournaments that take a few days. Also, what you can do is you can have a look in the Lead Chess Arena. Another option you can do is if you have some chess buddy, friend you know, you can invite them to play with you and you can play a long game if they're also into that kind of stuff. The problem with that, of course, is you will always play the same opening, which is not ideal. So that's also a problem if you play against the same person over and over again. Okay, so that's it. These were my 5 tips. I really hope these tips helped you. And as always, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.